Hi, everybody. I'm your host, Mike Downer, on Roots to Renovation with Peterson Roofing. I am here today with Jody Peterson, founder and CEO, as well as his son, Ryan Peterson, COO of Peterson Roofing. How are we doing today, guys?
Doing great. Thanks, Mike.
Doing great.
Good deal. So, today I know what we're talking about. Hopefully, you guys do too. We're talking about how to choose the right roofing contractor. So I don't care who takes what question. You guys just kind of go back and forth on these, but the core question I have to ask you is, what should a homeowner look for, ask, and verify when selecting a roofing contractor, and how do they tell the great ones from the risky ones?
I will start, Ryan, and you can chime in if you like. But I think number one, they should look for longevity. How long has the company been around in business in their area? And we've been around in the Davenport, Bettendorf, Quad City area for 45 years under the same name. Um, but the question, how do you check that sort of thing? I mean, there's ways to
Right.
do that, and we can get into that a little bit later. But under the same name is important because there's a lot of companies that have been in business for a long time, but they reorganize every few years because they basically wear out their welcome. So they have to change names. We've been in business 45 years under the same name. So that's probably the most important thing. Risky
Says a lot
ones.
about your company.
What's that?
Yes.
That says a lot about your company.
Yes, that's true. Thanks, Mike. Risky ones, these would be people that obviously just jumped into business, maybe worked for a bigger company, thought, oh, hey, I can do this myself. There's nothing to it. They don't have any financial stability. They don't know what they're doing as far as installation. They might have been in sales and think that's the most important thing. And it's important, obviously, but it's not the most important thing. The most important thing is make sure the job is done right after the sale. And so they may not have those expertise. If you've been in business 45 years, you're going to acquire those expertise. So yeah, and both Ryan and I, we've done the work ourselves. We're not just salespeople, so we
Right.
we know what's going on too when it comes to installing roof or siding. Ryan.
Right. You want me to tell a little story? I'll tell a little story.
That'd be
A
awesome.
friend of mine years ago, before we were friends, we had a lot of storms come through. Had one of those big national, or I guess maybe regional chains. That's who he had contracted with to do his storm restoration work. And years went by, and they still hadn't got his gutters replaced. They had done the roof, and there was some thing where they forgot to even send him a bill. But anyway, they're like, "Well, we're ready to do your gutters now." And I mean,
You
this is
said
years
years.
later. Years later, yes. And he's like, "All right, well, let's do them." But of course, they wanted, to charge more and this and that. And there was some confusion and going back and forth with the insurance company. And you know what? That would never happen with us. You're dealing directly with us. You've got our cell phones. You don't get lost in the mix with this bigger company that doesn't have a handle on what's going on. There's so many, gears in the machine of the bigger company. And that's, I think, something that people appreciate. They know that they're just dealing with the owner, and they're going to get everything taken care of. And we're going to be here after the fact.
You know what? That's actually a great peace of mind for any homeowner. So when it comes to um, when you are picking a roofing contractor, what should a homeowner know about licensing requirements in Iowa, and what should they verify before signing any roofing contract?
Well, in Iowa, you have to be licensed with the state. You would have to be licensed with the local municipality that you're working in, and to do that, generally you have to be bonded. And you have to carry proper insurances, and there are a lot of smaller companies that go out there, and try to do some work on their own. Maybe they work for the bigger companies and they don't carry the proper insurances. They're not licensed. So you're taking your chances. A lot of homeowners will do that. They'll take the chance and go, well, they're cheaper, right? Because they don't
Yep.
they don't have any overhead at all. So, but the problem begins when something isn't done right, and you try to get a hold of, so and so to put the roof on that isn't licensed, isn't insured, hasn't done much work in the area. You're not going to get a hold of them. Sure, you got a cheap roof, but you didn't if you have any trouble at all, and chances are you will, you're not going to be able to reach that person.
Get what you pay for, right?
Get what you pay for. That's exactly right.
So a lot of people, when it comes to deciding on roofing contractors, um, this seems like a fairly obvious question, but I really need you guys probably both to chime in a little bit on this because I'm sure you got a story about it. Could you tell us why hiring a local Quad Cities roofer with decades of experience matters compared to working with a storm chaser?
You can
Well,
go ahead, Ryan. I mean, you
I'll
just
go
had a good
first.
story
Sure.
right there.
So we're seeing this a lot here, because it's been a few years since the last round of storms came through, and homeowners are noticing things that aren't right. Maybe something's been leaking for a while, or something fell off their house, siding or fascia or whatever. And I have specifically had people tell me I had this company put this on and they're gone. Like, they're not in town anymore. Nobody will return my calls. And so then they have nowhere to turn. They have to go find somebody else to do it, a real local company. And so we're getting some calls, but and I don't know, maybe we've talked about this before. Now it's costing these homeowners more in the long run to have somebody come fix the problem, and they could have avoided all of this if they just, called us in the first place.
Right. In fact, I have an appointment later today to go see a job. There's a job leaking, that very exact same scenario Ryan spoke about. Had a storm chaser do the job, had lost contact with them, haven't talked to them since 2022. And I'm going to go try to figure out what the issue is.
And the thing about it is, guys, you said since 2022, it's only 4 years. Um, I know that they all have great sales lines. Oh, we do this all over the country, and I mean, a sales line is a sales line, but what you're saying is, don't fall for any of that. Get somebody local, call Peterson, at least give you guys a shot. And when a problem does happen, if it ever does, you'll be there to correct it, or do it right the first time to make sure it doesn't happen because your reputation's on the line. Is that what I'm
Right.
getting from that?
Exactly.
Perfect. Hey, I'm learning something, guys. So what questions should a homeowner ask when checking references, and what answers are red flags?
I'll start off. Number one, where's their main office at? So, there's these regional, national corporations that have a big office somewhere with a lot of little satellite offices. And then we're going back to the same thing we've been talking about. Do you want to deal with somebody that's 100 miles away? You call in the main office, then it has to filter down to get to the right person to finally hear you, or do you want to call direct and get a hold of the homeowner? You'll have our cell numbers, me and Ryan. Yeah, we might not necessarily be able to answer, but we'll get back with you within an hour or so. So you can get us direct. You won't get somebody that has no clue of what's going on with your specific problem. Another thing to reference is you may see the salesman pull up in your driveway and have different plates on from a different state. That's a pretty good indicator that that's not a good reference. Somebody's coming in to do your storm work and then leaving. Maybe get some references in your neighborhood from other homeowners that have work done by different contractors, and maybe some older work. Because if it's a storm work, they can give you a reference on a job they just did last week, but you don't know whether that job's any good or not unless it's been on a few years. So maybe some older references in the neighborhood. Another way to check, and I'm rambling on here, and nobody hardly ever does this. You can call your suppliers. We have accounts with every supplier, every major supplier in our area, in the Davenport, Bettendorf, Quad City area. You can call them and say, hey, what do you know about these guys? They pay their bills, how long they've been around. And they may or may not tell you, but they should tell you, without being derogatory in any way towards anyone. Local building inspectors, you can call the building inspector of the municipality you live in, and they will possibly give you some help there too.
Perfect. Anything to add to that, Ryan?
No, I mean, that's true. I know that one of these big regional chains here, if you would call and ask the building, permit department about this particular company, they would tell you, oh yeah, they're not allowed to get permits here anymore. And I don't know if that said company had fixed their problem and they can get permits now, but I know for a long time the way they did business, made it so that they could not even get permits in I think it was Moline, if I remember right.
That's a definite red flag.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it was all because it's part of the machine running homeowners through collecting that money. They don't care enough about the product, about the person at the end of the thing. It's all just dollar signs and how can we grow, and let's open up another satellite office somewhere else.
Yeah.
So yeah, one thing first time roof buyers always say after working with Peterson Roofing is that they didn't realize how much difference a local established contractor makes compared to one of those national chains or storm chasers.
Makes sense. So let's switch gears here a little bit. What do manufacturer certifications mean, and why do they matter for quality and warranty coverage?
Manufacturer certification, we're certified by Owens Corning, and it matters because you get the warranty from the company, and you can get extended warranties. You can get just the regular warranty that comes with the shingle right off the shelf, or you can get a pay for a longer warranty, which will cover a roof for 50 years. You can have a 50-year warranty, labor and material, I believe. So standard warranty just covers depreciation of the shingle over time and some labor warranty. So, in fact, what we did, we actually yesterday put on a roof for labor for a customer that we did 17 years ago. And Owens Corning actually helped her out because this is only the second claim I've ever had from Owens Corning. So, when it does happen though, you want the company to be there to stand behind it. So because of discoloration, there was no problems with the shingle other than it discolored in areas. We were able to put on the new roof. She got a check for material from Owens Corning after 17 years, and the new roof looks beautiful. So it is important to have a certified contractor to install your roof.
Oh, that makes perfect sense. So let's go to we all know that the savvy buyer anymore, and and as I think you guys would agree, it's always smart to get more than one estimate. But when you look beyond the price, what three things should homeowners compare when reviewing roofing estimates?
That's big because I feel like most homeowners just look at the price and then they learn later on maybe that wasn't the best idea because you get what you pay for. It. So we've been talking about the whole time here.
This is a good
so yeah,
point
the thing,
for your good spot for what we looked at yesterday, Ryan, because not to cut you off, but is that estimate thorough? Number one, right?
Okay.
Because you have people, like I said, they're salespeople. They've never installed a roof. They've never repaired a roof. They're just salespeople. When they get up and look around, they may know how to measure, and that's it. But they don't know what they're looking for. So I'll let you.
Yeah, I'll tell the story. So I got a call to look at a house way out in Goose Lake, Iowa. So a little ways away. We were working out in Eldridge, and we work in DeWitt all the time too. So not too far away from there. But solar is a big thing now, right? And solar sales, and I don't know how they're drumming up business, but apparently these folks out in Goose Lake, they wanted to install solar, and I said, well, hey, as long as we're doing this, your roof's worn out, you'll want to do your roof too. Excuse me. So they go ahead and they roof the house, but it has these old bubble skylights on it, and put up the whole solar array and everything. Well, apparently these skylights were not done right. So the homeowner calls and they try to fix it a few times, maybe fix one of them, but there's 3 different skylights. And finally, the company says, well, you know what, can you just, call a good roofing company to come out, tell you what it's going to take to fix it, and we'll pay for it. We'll take care of it. So we look at it, and these skylights should have been replaced. There's no reason that they should have redone this roof. But like Jody just said, it's the sales mentality and not really knowing what they're doing that caused this to happen. And now this homeowner has a big problem. These skylights need to be replaced. One of them is out in the middle of this solar array, and there's no way we're going to be able to replace this skylight without them taking the solar panels down. There's just going to be a lot of work involved. Whereas if you had a good, solid, reputable company like us, they'd tell you the truth, and they'd have everything laid out, like you need to replace these skylights before you do the roof, not just running you through the sales machine.
Is the estimate thorough? Does it answer all of the homeowners' questions? They may not understand everything that's going on, but it has to be explained. And then, did we answer all your questions? And I don't know what number 3 would be, because those are the most important for me. I mean, thorough. Did we answer all of the questions? Are we able to get the job done in a timely manner and at a fair price?
Perfect. Perfect. So let me ask you this. How can a contractor's communication style before the job even starts indicate how they're going to handle the project overall?
Important. Go ahead, Ryan.
Communication style. So I would say number 1, being able to answer questions about the work that's going on. Sometimes I find myself, I love talking about it, like all the ins and outs and details of roofing. And sometimes I'm wondering in my head, am I boring this homeowner? Maybe I have a little bit more information than they really even care about, but I know it. It's all there, as opposed to the story that I just told where people don't know. Other one is them just being pushy, because that is what this industry is now. Is let's get an appointment set. Let's get me, the salesman there sitting at your kitchen table and talking to you and getting you to sign on the dotted line. And it's not going to cost this much. Yeah, we're going to finance it. It's only going to cost you a couple $100 a month. And it's all about the dollar signs. It's being pushy. It's not knowing the ins and outs of what's actually happening. It's not caring about your customer. And that's the difference that you're going to get with us.
We'll knock off 20%. Let me call the office. Maybe we can knock it off a little bit more. So
yep. Sales tactics.
It's not about let's do this properly. Let's do it fast. If somebody's pushing you and wants you to do it fast and now, and you're going to lose out on something, walk away right now.
No, that actually makes perfect sense. So, guys, let me ask you this. And this seems pretty straightforward, but it still needs to be answered and addressed. So, what's the difference between written warranties and verbal promises, and what actually protects the homeowner?
I'll start off on this one. Written warranties, like from the manufacturer, very important. Actually had a customer call me 3 or 4 days ago and said, I need a written warranty for that, because she had lost it. And I said that and it wasn't one of our jobs. It was someone else did the job. I said, you can find out who the supplier was, and if you can get an invoice, you can get a warranty from the company. So it is important to get that warranty, just to know when the roof was installed, how long that warranty is valid. Guarantees and promises from on the labor end from the contractor. Written warranty or guarantee is important, but what's more important is the person that stands behind it, because 2 dudes in a truck can give you a guarantee a mile long, but it's only as good as the person that wrote that guarantee. Because if they're down the road and they're at the bar with your down payment money and never do show up and do your work, and you say, look, I've got this guarantee, what are they going to do? They don't care. So it's only as good as the character and the person that stands behind it. But we do both. We give out the manufacturer's warranty and our written warranty as well.
Yep, perfect. That's super important. So I'll address both you guys. You guys have done a great job of answering the questions, because a lot of people, are concerned about choosing roofing contractors. Am I going to get the right guy? Am I going to get the right company? And you guys have done a really good job clearing that up. Let me ask both of you guys this. You guys can both take a little segment of this, and we'll wind it up for today. But what sets Peterson Roofing apart in terms of being family owned, no pressure, and offering honest pricing and repair recommendations?
I'll go first. So we've been here a long time. We live in this community. We see our customers out there in the community, and we make sure that we sleep well at night because we treat everybody the way that we'd want to be treated. Um, and that comes down to like the story we told the other day, telling those people, look, you don't need to replace your roof. So we're here and we care about people. And I think that is what, when somebody finds us and they're like, oh, these are my new favorite people. This is my roofer for life, because they see the honesty and the integrity and the trust. And so I think that's where I'm coming from as far as the difference between us and everybody else. And I'll let you take the end.
Exactly. If you're from this area, we see the people we work for. It requires accountability, and it forces us to be accountable. If sometimes we're going to be a little lazy or lax, we can't be, because we live here. We're with our customers. We see them. We
Same
have
at the
family
gas
here.
station.
Yeah.
We plan on being here, and raising families. I raised my family. Ryan's still raising his. I mean, we don't want to leave. So we have to be accountable if we want to, we want to maintain a good reputation in the area. Storm chaser doesn't care, because if he wears out his welcome here, he's on to the next town doing a storm.
He's gone.
That's not our mentality.
I'm not trying to start a satellite office somewhere else. I'm here. You might see me with my boy at Little League or my girls out at tumbling or dance class. We're here in the community. We're not going anywhere. We've been here 45 years, and maybe we'll be here another 45 unless my boy's an all-star pitcher in the MLB. If that's the case, then maybe we won't. I don't think that's going to happen, but we'll see.
If he's a pitcher in the NFL, I definitely want to at least get a selfie with him. Is that okay?
Sure thing, Mike.
All right, guys. Well, you guys have done an awesome job of, explaining what to look for in a roofing contractor, how to choose, and why to choose local, and what the benefits are. So, guys, I want to thank you again for joining me on Roots to Renovation. And again, I'm here with Jody and Ryan Peterson, the owners of Peterson Roofing. Been in business for 45 years, and we'll see you guys again on the next episode.
All right, Mike.
Thanks,
you, buddy.
Mike.